we're here with Mark Loftus, a former owner of AVIQ, a brand that our parent company Airmold just acquired. Mark has been with the business since 2002 and knows the ins and outs of the Pro AV industry and everything it has to offer to IT pros. So Mark, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about AVIQ and how long it's been around?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Zach. So AVIQ was started a little over 20 years ago by some AV integrators who needed to get product information in a single format and wanted to build a central database for the AV industry. Moving from paper catalogs to having to search manufacturers' websites and having information in all kinds of different formats was and always has been a cumbersome way to do detailed product research. So having a central database in a common format that we could present on a website, a searchable database for users to come find every brand in the AV industry. And today it houses nearly 400,000 products from about 1,200 AV brands. And they can come in and do keyword searches or product category searches. They can find the detailed products down to the spec sheet. We have functionality that does product comparisons, and they can build project lists within the website. And then everywhere within the site, they can connect with either directly with the brand and request quotes or more information, or they can reach out to a local dealer, reseller, integrator for any questions about those kinds of services.
So this is essentially a Google search for AV products. Am I barking up the right tree?
Yeah, I think generally speaking, it's probably a little bit more detailed than just a Google search. I think when you're using Google, hopefully you'll find links to our website. We're a heavily indexed platform with hundreds of thousands of URLs. But when you're using Google to do product research, you're typically finding the manufacturer's website, maybe a distributor's website. And again, it's in different formats. And what I hear all the time from users, and probably your audience experiences this as well, is when they're doing that, they're finding manufacturer websites across different brands, different product types that they're needing to search for based on whatever installation project they might be working on. And they'll have literally dozens of browsers opened up on their desktop and toggling back and forth between each manufacturer brand to try to do a product comparison and figure out what is the best product for them to put into their boardroom, auditorium, classroom, whatever it might be. And that can be a very time-consuming process. And so what we're trying to do is just make it easier to deliver the data to them on a single platform where these things can be done and compared in a very straightforward way. So it's really, you might start with Google, but hopefully you'll end up with AVIQ because that's where you're going to really kind of save your time and effort in finding exactly what you need.
So for an IT department that might not necessarily have a ton of AV knowledge that say an integrator would have, which is your other audience, how beneficial is this for those folks?
Yeah, again, for the Pro AV user, probably coming into our database and going straight to a keyword search and typing in a part number or model number, they know exactly what they're looking for. One of the nice things about AVIQ is we've created over the years a category tree structure that really hits every single product type that you might be looking for. So you don't have to know the exact part number or model number that you're looking for. You can search through a category search. That way you can just get a result where it's going to give you all the brands within that category. They might not be familiar with the different manufacturers in each particular product segment. And so for them to be able to just do a general search like that and find the information they need is probably very useful. The other thing that I would say is unique about our database is we've added much more than just product information. We've allowed manufacturers to put in their press releases, video content. They've got webinar content, online training content. And then most importantly, probably for your audience would be, we've got a library of case studies. So if you wanted to just go straight to a case study section, you could see real life projects and with the list of products that were put into them. So if you're working in a education vertical or house of worship or whatever it might be, you can search case studies in those particular verticals, or you can search them by specific technology applications, conferencing, or what you might be looking for. And then you can see exactly how these things were put together and what kind of products were placed there. And so I think for the user that's an IT or AVIT, this can be a very useful search engine to piece together what you might need for a full installation.
Right. Yeah, sounds like a very useful tool. Can you give us maybe a short demonstration?
Sure, I can share my screen here. I just brought you to our main website. And as I mentioned, some of the things previously, an end user can come on and do a keyword search. If they're looking for a specific manufacturer, they can search and get some suggestions, or go click straight into that manufacturer's listing with all their information. As I mentioned, also, if they don't know exactly what they're looking for, but they know the product type, they can browse through this category structure. And if they're looking for video conference equipment, they can click into that category, and we'll list out all the brands and start to give you products that are in that category. We've got then another level of categorization that they can dig deeper into. And once they get into that section, they can start to do some real specification filtering and figure out really down to the detail what it is that's going to fit their need. And then on every one of these pages, you can see what brands are represented in that category type. And then as you can see, as I mentioned, you can start to do product comparisons. And so I can start to add products to a list. And this is, you can add a pretty unlimited number, really. And if I click on compare, then I can start to do some side-by-side comparisons. From here, or from the page that we were just previously on, you can add products to a project list. And so as you see here, I've got some projects that I've created, and I can, after I've done my product comparison and I figure out that this is the one that I want, I can put it into this classroom project that I've been building, and then I can go back and look at that entire list, and I can log into the environment and continue to work on that project list. You can come up here, I'll log out for a second. So a user can come to the sign up, just create their own account, which gives them some added benefit in searching. And once they do that, they can do the project lists. They can get a larger amount of comparison functionality that it gives them access to being able to see MSRP. And so, and if I click onto my dashboard here, I'm just going to go to one of these projects. And so as I looked at that classroom project, I can list out here everything that I put into it. And from here, I could request a quote from any one of the integrators or resellers that's in our network. So if you're looking for either integration assistance or just a quote on a whole list of products, you can do a zip code search and find somebody locally that can provide that. You can also email this list to somebody, or you can export it. And there's a few different formats. We've got a format that we've built in conjunction with DTools, so that this will download this list of product information into a CSV format that works for DTools software. Or of course, you can just export it to a PDF or a Word document. So these are some of the things that you can do as a user. And again, as I mentioned, you can browse through a library of case studies. news, videos, events, online training content. I'll just click into that case study section. So from here, you can start to look at actual projects that have been built out, and you get more information and some documentation. And from every one of these pages, you can, connect directly with the brand. Or like I said, in some cases, you can do a find a reseller functionality or find a dealer.
Well, yeah, this seems super comprehensive. So for any tech decision makers that are looking for some audiovisual help, we highly recommend checking out AVIQ.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for having me. And if your audience has any questions, let me know.
Good. All right. Thanks very much, Mark.